I turned on every GPIO on this STM32 Nucleo board using pure bare metal. No HAL, no libraries, and in this video I'll show you exactly how I did it. For this project I'm using STM32 Nucleo board, which is STM32L432KC. But for your purposes, if you don't have one of these laying around, pretty much any STM32 board should work. For this particular board, I have determined that there are a total of 20 usable GPIO pins, and there are only two ports, port A and port B. So over here in the bottom, I have 13 port A pins, and on this side are all the port B pins. GPIO port A pins range all the way from pin 0 to pin 12, total of 13 pins. For port B, however, we have only 7 pins available. They range from pin 0 all the way to pin 7, however, we don't have pin 2. This was the hardware overview. Now let's dive into code. There are several important topics that would be helpful for you to know before you watch this video. These topics are understanding how reading from and writing to registers work in bare metal, understanding how register addressing works, hexadecimal is another thing that you need to know, and bitwise operations in C. I made videos for all these 4 topics and I'm gonna link them in the description below. If you're unsure about these topics or maybe you need a refresher, please go ahead and watch those because understanding those topics will help you understand this lesson much better. So all the links are in the description. Otherwise, let's dive in. So this code has 2 parts. This upper part where do our defines and find the register addresses that we're gonna be writing to. Down below is execution where we write to those registers. There are a handful of registers we're using in this code. I'm gonna walk you through them one by one and explain what those registers are and what values we're writing to them. I should also say that the code you see here right now is not necessarily the industry practice. We don't write code like this in an industry. This is just a proof of concept that you can directly address registers and you can write to them and you can have an output. This is just to help you understand how register addressing works and how we access the registers directly without using any libraries. In the future lessons, we're gonna write a full GPIO driver, which will simplify how we write our GPIO code a lot. And we'll abstract some of the register addressing because we don't want to go and find addresses for every single register each time we want to write to it. We're going to automate that process using type definitions and structures. So stay tuned for that. I will now walk you through the registers that we'll be writing to and explain what values we're actually writing to them. So first register that we'll be writing to is this register that's located in RCC, which is reset and clock control peripheral. And inside this RCC, we have a register called AHP2ENR, which stands for Advanced High Performance Bus 2 Enable Register. This is where we're going to enable our GPIO peripherals. And if you look at this register here, and if you remember, we have 2 ports, GPIO A and GPIO B. So for this particular register, we need to enable GPIO A and GPIO B, which means we need to write 1 to these 2 places. If you remember, 2 ones next to each other means 3 in hexadecimal. So we'll be writing 0x03 to this register. Also note the address offset of this register. You'll see that address offset is 0x4c. So to access this register, we're going to need to take the start address of RCC, which is this, and we're going to need to literally add this offset to arrive at this particular register. Next, we're going to go to GPIO registers, and we need to set a couple of registers there for our code to work. The first one is mode R register, and this mode R register is located in GPIO section, which is chapter 8 of the reference manual. This register helps us to set a particular mode for each of the pins. So for example, for port A, we're setting 13 bits, right? And those bits are covered by modes. So each mode is provided for each pin. So for example, mode 0 will help us set the mode for GPIO A pin 0. And we need to go all the way to pin 12. So what is the mode that we're interested in? We're turning on LEDs. So we need an output mode. So 0, 0 is not what we need. That's input mode. 0, 1 is general purpose output mode. That is the one that we actually need. So we need to set each mode to 0, 1. Meaning all of these will become 0, 1 all the way to mode 12. However, we also need to think about the reset states for this register. A reset state is a state of a register when the board powers up. So when it powers up, it actually comes with this hexadecimal value here. That's for port A. For port B, we have another hexadecimal value right here. So most of the pins actually come in analog mode in the reset state, which we don't want. We want to set our pins to general purpose output mode. So what we do, we usually re-zero out all the bits that we're interested in. For example, for port A, we're gonna zero out all the bits all the way from mode 12 to mode 0. And I'll show you how that works in the code. Once everything is zeroed out, then we can write our values without worrying about adversely affecting the pins. So we'll do this for both of the ports, port A and port B. And each of them have their own addresses. And you can see the addresses here. For example, for GPIO A, we have this hexadecimal start address, which is 0x48000000. That's the start address for GPIO A. But for GPIO B, it's a little bit different. It starts at this offset here. So each of these ports, GPIO A and GPIO B, have their own sets of GPIO registers. For example, GPIO A has its own mode R register. GPIO B, in the same way, has its own mode R register. So to access mode R, we need to add this address offset, which is in this case 00 because mode R is the first register on the list. However, the next register is not necessarily the first one. So for that one, we're gonna add its own offset to arrive at that register. And that register is bit set and reset register, which is the final register we need to set our output pins. And this register is kind of interesting. You can see it goes all the way from 0 to 31, but from 0 all the way to 15, you'll see it says BS, which stands for bit set. So the bottom half of this register is helpful for setting the register, meaning turning it on. The top part, 16 through 31, is where we reset it. We turn it off. So for our purposes, we're turning the bits on, which we'll need to use this bottom half of the register. For example, for port A, we're turning all pins from pin 0 all the way to pin 12, right? 13 pins. So we're gonna need to write all ones into here to turn those pins on. And we're not doing anything with rest of the register. But if you want to actually turn them on and then turn them off, you would have to write the corresponding bits to 1 to turn those bits off. So what does this value look like for port A? Let's see here. Looking at this, we're gonna have 1, we're gonna have F, this one will be F, and this one will be F. So the value we'll be putting into this register here will be 0x, 1, F, F, and F. This is for port A. Let's now do one for port B. So port B, if you remember, we have bit 0, bit 1, but we do not have this one. So we're not going to do anything with it. We're going to turn on this, and this, all the way to 7. So what is this value in hexadecimal? So we have only byte here to work with. So this will be F, but this one will be different. What do you think this value is in binary? So 18, 12, and 1. And that is B. Value that we'll be putting into GPIO B bit set and reset register will be 0xFB. Also, notice the offset of bit set and reset register. So this is the offset we'll be adding to the start address of GPIO B registers. Now let me give you a quick demo on how I actually go find those register addresses. So we have this reference manual here. And usually you want to go find the memory map. Memory map will help you to navigate around the microcontroller and understand where each peripheral is located, and will also tell you what addresses they are at. So memory map is found in chapter 2 for this particular microcontroller, and you go to memory organization, and here you'll see this big memory map, kind of general overview, but you won't find those peripherals here. You need to scroll down a little bit, and over here you'll see GPIO A, GPIO B, and here are those address ranges that I was just talking about. So both of the address ranges are here, so that's where I got them. You'll see there's GPIO C and D. Those are for bigger chips that have more pins. The chip that I'm using do not have as many pins, but the one that you're using may have those. So you can actually play around with those if you wanted to. And if you scroll down a little bit, you'll find RCC, and here's the start address for the RCC. And once you know the start addresses, then you can go to respective chapters. For example, here's the RCC, reset and clock control, and then you can go to registers. And this is where you'll find all the registers and their offsets. So for example, here's a register with its offset. The one that we're setting is this one here. So if you remember, we set GPIO A and GPIO B. If you have GPIO C or D, you can use these settings to turn those peripherals on. And GPIO registers are found in chapter 8 right here. And you click on registers, and all the registers are here, and each one have their own offset. And again, this is not the way you typically write code in an industry. This code is just for demonstration purposes, and we're going to refine this. We're going to write our own GPIO driver, and we'll simplify this so that we don't have to go and look for register addresses each time we want to write to a register. Now I'll walk you line by line through this code and explain to you what each line of code does and how we turn on the LEDs. The first line of code just helps us to be able to use standard integer types. So the next one, where we define the base address or start address for RCC, and that will help us to calculate address for AHB2 enable register. If you remember, this is the one that helps us to turn on the peripherals. So the way we calculate it, we grab the base address right here, and then we add the offset for that particular register. If you remember, that one was 0x4C. And you may have noticed this U that I add at the end. That just helps the compiler to know that this is an unsigned integer type, so it doesn't convert it to signed accidentally. Next, we're getting GPIO A base and then GPIO B base, and using those, we are arriving at our specific registers. If you remember, mode R was at offset 0, and bit set and reset register was at offset 0x18. We do the same thing for GPIO B. You may be wondering, what am I doing here with casting and stars? So all I'm doing here is, so I got the base address, let's say for GPIO A. Right now, it's just unsigned integer. Compiler doesn't know if this is an address. So I need to tell the compiler somehow this is actually an address that I'm gonna be writing to. So after I add it and calculate, after I do my addition and I calculate the final address for a given register, I cast it to a volatile unsigned U32 integer as a pointer. So this star here signifies that this is gonna be pointer. I'm gonna be telling compiler, this is a pointer. Treat this as an address. Then this other star here is dereferencing it. So imagine this first part here, when I cast, it turns it into an address, like a house address. So you have a sign in front of the house that says, okay, here's the address for this house that you see. The second star is a dereferencing operator. It basically opens the door of the house, says, now you can put anything you want into this house. So to recap, first I turn it into a pointer, and second, I open the door of the house. I dereference that pointer so that I can put anything I want inside that register. Then that brings us to here. So all these registers that you see are dereferenced registers. So first one is AHB2, Advanced High Performance Bus 2 Enable Register. And if you remember, we write 11, which is 3, which will turn on GPIO A and GPIO B for us. And next, we have Mode R register. And if you remember, Mode R register comes with a reset state. that's actually an analog. We don't want that. We're clearing those bits out using this mask here. Here's the mask, and that will clear all those bits out for us. And then we're putting the value we want into mode R register. You will notice that it's basically 0, 1, 0, 1. We're putting all those 0, 1s into this mode R register. So once we set our modes, then we're gonna go to bit set and reset register for each of the ports. So this is the GPIO A, and if you remember this number that we had, 1 and 3 Fs, that's the value we're putting into this register to turn on all those LEDs. And now GPIO B has smaller number of pins, and we're only turning on 7 pins, and here's the hexadecimal value for that. There's really nothing to it. All we're doing is we're going to reference manual, we're grabbing the register addresses, we're turning them into pointers. This tells the compiler to treat these numbers, these hexadecimal numbers, as addresses. Compiler knows that these are actual addresses, and then we are dereferencing those addresses. It's basically like opening the door of the house and saying, okay, you can put whatever you want here. And then below, these are all the reference registers, and we're putting the values in and out. And if you're still confused about how we're putting these values into registers, those videos that I talked about should help you out. So hopefully this helps you understand how bare metal programming works at a core level. At the core level, we're still doing this even when we optimize our code, which we're gonna do in the next lessons. But this is what's happening under the hood whenever you write code. Even if you're writing HAL or other GPIO libraries, they're still doing this underneath the hood. Underneath the hood, all this is happening. We're getting the registers, we're grabbing the values, we're writing them to the registers, and boom, we're outputting something, or we're transmitting something via SPI. So this is the backbone of bare metal programming, or any programming. All this still happening even in platforms like Arduino, or ESP32, or STM32, any microcontroller. For the most part, most of the microcontrollers use this system underneath the hood. Anyway, next we're going to be optimizing this code and making it more industry standard and abstracting some of these things away and make it more automatic for us to be able to address the registers. So stay tuned for that.